Okay, I think we're all here. Okay, who did anything fun this last week? Last week, what fun things did people do? Anything interesting? There's one.
We had two aunts and two cousins come over this weekend.
The whole weekend.
Yep, we left before they did this morning.
Ah, so the whole family's over.
No,
No, just a
there was
couple.
only two cousins.
Anyone else do anything interesting this weekend?
I went to work. It's pretty interesting.
You go pew pew.
Did you shoot anything?
Pheasant.
How many did you get?
7.
Whoa, wow. 7 that died or 7 you shot?
Well, 5 2 I teamed.
Ah, okay. What's that mean?
As in 2 people shoot 1 pheasant at the same exact
Oh,
time. It goes down.
so it's loaded full of lead. Got it.
Sometimes there was yesterday we went hunting and I shot a pheasant and it was like a long shot. It went down and it just folded. And then 3 more shots just loaded and it just exploded.
So there's feathers everywhere.
Yeah, and then sometimes when we're gutting them, there's nothing left there. So
Ah. Anybody else do something fun this weekend? Yes.
Wasn't something that I did, but since we got the family over and taking him shooting, he was helping Mom sight in her gun. And he has this really fancy gun that's got a very sensitive trigger. So he was pulling it to sight it out the window that was shut, and he shot out the window.
Anyone fire a gun with a super sensitive trigger? That is a dangerous thing you got to be careful of. Some people, they change the trigger pulls and you could just barely touch them and then they shoot the gun, so beware. They're out there.
Right there next to the window.
I believe it. I believe it. I've heard of stuff like that. I'm going to close the door. In case anyone needs them, I took them out of my car. I have some seat warmers that plug into your cigarette lighter. They're not the cleanest things in the world, but they work. If anyone wants to take those home, they can. They're right here. In AutoZone, I think they're like $90 when they're new, but they work. I just don't need them. There's 2 of them. Anyone got a joke? No? Oh, geez, here we go. She's always got one.
I took a poll and found that 100% of the people were angry when the tank collapsed.
And they would be. She took a poll and she found out 100% of the people were angry when the tank collapsed. Russia, now and then. Here we go. Everyone got notes and paper, pencil, pen. Anyone do not have those things? All right. I see a new face over here. I don't recognize you. Are you supposed to be here? Oh, okay. Are you guys brothers? Yeah, gotta be. Okay, got it. Okay, you can be here. Okay, today we're going to talk about a king, the last king of Russia. Anyone heard about this guy ever? Okay, I'm going to ask you guys what you know about this guy. It could be anything. Show of hands, if you got something you want to tell me about this guy, you can tell me something about this guy. Who wants to go first? Here we go.
Killed by the communists.
Killed by his own people, the communists. Yes, that's correct. You know the year. Close. But yes, very close.
Was it 1917?
Correct. Yes. Anyone else know something about the last king of Russia?
He was a kind man, but he didn't know much about his people.
There is that, yes. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say. We're going to talk about the last king of Russia because, well, a lot of events happened to make Russia what it is today, and him being out of the picture was one of them, unfortunately, because he was a decent guy, and he had a nice little family. It's a very sad story. So, Tsar Nicholas was a fantastic war leader. He preferred to be in the trenches with his men. He's a charismatic dude. He prefers being in a uniform and far away from Moscow. Can anyone describe a trench to me? At all? I saw you first.
It's a long hole in the ground, about the height of a man or a little bit more, that you dig to avoid getting shot at.
Anyone else got anything to add to that? Yes.
It's not just straight, it has bends.
That's correct. Why does it have bends?
So that an enemy can't just jump in one end of it and shoot down.
There you go. Yes. They're not just straight holes in the ground that are 6 feet deep. They go like this. Anything else about trenches?
It's a whole lot you shoot out of the enemy.
There's a whole lot what?
A hole that you shoot out of at the enemy.
Correct, that's correct. But yes, he preferred to be in those places with his men. Trenches are nasty. You live and die in them. They usually got a couple feet of water at the bottom. Not a happy place to live, but it's a good place for a war leader to show up and show that he cares about his men. There's actually accounts of him grabbing a rifle and shooting at the enemy in the trenches with his men against the enemy. And it was really good for the guys at the front lines, but while he was away, things weren't exactly going in his favor. Does anybody ever want to be a king of a country here, or queen? It's got to be a nightmare. I can only imagine. King, queen, no thanks. Don't need that. But they called it the war to end all wars, World War I. Does anyone know the dates? When was World War I? Yeah.
From 1914 to 1986.
Correct. When did the U.S. enter the war, World War I? Does anyone know? Yes. Close, 17. Right at the end, mainly. We suffered a lot of casualties and wounded in action, killed in action, but we were only in the war about a year. But just like World War II, if we did not come into World War I when we did, the outcome would have been very different. But we're just talking about Russia here. Russia loses 1.7 million dead in World War I in trench-style warfare. 9.2 million casualties. Casualties means anything from losing a finger to a leg and anything else you can imagine, but you survived it. No one wanted to see a war like this again. I did a class on this. You can actually go on the YouTube page, and I recorded every class we did on World War I. It's an interesting history. It's hard to wrap your head around because it was a different world, different time. I saw a hand. No hand? Maybe someone was picking their nose. I don't know if I told this class, but my other class I don't know if I told you about the kid that came up to me randomly when I was working on my car. Was it this class?
That was the other class.
But not this class.
Not this class.
Okay, for those of you, half of you weren't there. Okay, this was weird. I'm working on my car in my front yard, right on the road, and I'm deep into the engine. I'm kind of gross, sweaty, and all of a sudden I hear this little voice. I thought it was my son, Aaron, and I hear this little voice, and I can't even see him. Oh, did you say happy birthday to me? I'm like, Aaron, it's not your birthday yet. What do you want? That's what I said. And there was nothing but silence. Aaron usually replies faster than that. I'm like, so I get out of the engine, I look, and there's some kid standing there I have never seen in my whole life. Have you said happy birthday to me yet? I'm like, looking around for his mom. No, but if it's your birthday, then congratulations. He's like, oh, it's okay. I didn't tell you before, so have a nice day. And he walks away. Never seen him before in my life. He must have like radar that that's a dad, and dad has to know this stuff, even if I'm not his dad. I don't even know. So, like I said, while Nicholas was on the front lines, he had power at the front lines. His men loved him for it, thank God. But while he was away, people at home were conspiring against him. I'm not going to go too far into this. There's been entire books written about this specific concept and idea. But when the king's away for a long time, people start to do things slightly different than the king might want them to do while he's away, and it just snowballs from there. I could almost feel the snow coming this morning. Anyone get frost this morning? I think we did. Felt like it. No one wanted another World War I. To this day, we do not. Way more people killed in World War I than II. Way more. In fact, the 20th century is probably the worst century this world has ever seen, as far as war goes. Everyone got that? Okay. So back at home, there's a lot of exhausted people. They're exhausted with the war effort. They're exhausted with not getting paid good wages. This was before minimum wage, people. What's minimum wage right now for a 16-year-old? Does anyone?
It's like $11.75.
It's like $11.
And that's in this
It
state.
was 11 3 years ago. I think it just went up.
So it's
My boss pays minimum wage at first.
for a 16-year-old, so it's about 11.
14, I think, if you start at least. And
Wow.
ask for minimum, it'll be like 11.
Now, places like New York City, depending on the laws, sometimes it's like 20 just to start, and you're like a 16, 14-year-old kid that has maybe seen 20 bucks in one place in their whole life. But depends on where you live, minimum wage is different. Back then, there was no minimum wage. If you are a very short little kid and you were small, tiny, and can fit in chimneys, you would be a chimney sweeper getting paid a few cents an hour. You would be black as night, and you would be dusty your whole life. No minimum wages back then. And guess what? People get exhausted. People get tired. Did anyone ever get tired here? I hear about people getting tired every day of my life. I'm so tired. Yeah, these people were tired. And you know what? They wanted a little more money. They probably wanted to just have a better life. And when people are exhausted and tired and a little bit angry, they tend to be a powerful force for change if the right person comes along and pushes them in that direction. But especially back then, if you're a peasant and you're working hard, historically you're marginalized and ignored. Historically. Well, you're just a peasant. That's your job to make bread. You're just a peasant. That's just your job to, work in the iron mines, coal mines, etc., or sweep the chimney. That's just your job, right? So the folks at the top usually kind of just do their thing. The folks at the bottom do theirs, and the folks at the bottom are like, man, I wish I had a better life like them. It's making me a little angry. And the anger compiles until there's an explosion, sometimes literally. But back at home in Russia, an idea called socialism is appealing. Like, hey, maybe we could work together a little more and get what we want. Maybe we'll have a little more bread to eat if everyone was a little more on board with things. If you're hungry, if you're not making much money, if you feel like you're at the bottom of the totem pole, no one cares about you, you know what? Maybe we should change. I don't know yet. What is socialism? Even people back then are like, I don't know. What is socialism? I hear about this. I hear about Karl Marx. What is this? I don't know. What matters is that I don't feel like I'm appreciated. I don't get enough food, and I don't get enough pay for my family. At the bottom, that's what you're thinking. And you're probably pretty cold here in Russia, like South Dakota. We're all cold here, right? So when people start talking about this stuff, I'm going to talk about a guy who enters on the scene at just the right time. Well, he becomes a major player at just the right time. Everyone got this?
Yep.
I heard a no. Okay. What am I hearing?
Amazing Grace. That's what it is? Yeah.
Huh.
There's a
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. Cool. We're going to talk about this guy who is literally still breathing to this day. So the year 1917 was a very big year for change in especially Russia. This guy here, Mr. Lenin, is an avowed Marxist socialist. If you don't understand those terms, you can look at that sheet I handed out to you last time. If you do not have said sheet, I have more. Sometimes these concepts can be a little hard to understand or convoluted. But in Russia, we have 2 revolutions in 1 year, 1917 alone. When you have millions of people in the trenches, what do they need? What do you need? Bam, I heard food. That's number 1. What else do they need? Bam. A what? Dogs to get rid of rats. Okay. Yeah, that maybe. Yeah. Ammunition. Anything else? You got, yes. Clothing. Sleep if you can get it. Yeah. What? Things to keep you warm. All stuff that the lower classes are going to provide you. And you're working overtime if you're a peasant at a bakery to crank food out, baking bread to send it to the front lines. And you're not getting paid that much. You're working your butt off to make those nice wool uniforms to give to the men so they don't freeze to death at night. Has anyone ever worn actual heavy wool? Itchy, isn't it? Warm, isn't it? Extremely warm. If you are stuck in middle of nowhere Russia or South Dakota, wool is great. And it's expensive, but it's a good investment. Maybe next time I'll bring in my wool coat. I think I did about a year ago here. It's made of solid wool. It's from World War II. It's still something I use. So the 2 revolutions are here. One takes out the Tsar. He gets taken into, I would say, captivity. He has relative ease to walk around as long as he's surrounded by people with guns. But Tsar is taken off the throne. No more king. That happens in early October. People aren't sure exactly what's going to happen, but they know they don't want him. It's just too bad because I don't know how they got him from the front lines, brought him back to Moscow and kept him under guard. I wonder how that happened. That would be a story in itself, finding the Tsar and capturing him, because his men loved him, but not these ones that kept him under guard, apparently. We don't want that king anymore. He's not taking care of us in Moscow. And then the second revolution is in October. Lenin, here he is, and his buddies are now in charge. He's going to change things. Change things. We still got World War I going on, people. Thousands of people dying daily. Still. Yes. It is just a Congress. They call it a Duma. D-U-M-A. It's like a Congress like we have one. But even then, it was a loose sort of authority. No one really knew what was going to happen next. But yes, the Duma, they call it the Duma, was in charge then. D-U-M-A. Yep. And like I said before, Lenin loves Karl Marx, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, I thought it was a tomato.
Okay, I'm not used to drawing hearts like some of y'all. I have never shot a pheasant in my life. Nope. I've shot at one. I'm a really terrible shotgun shot. I'm terrible at it. It's funny, I had never even been, I've never been invited hunting pheasant until I moved here. And I was 41 years old. Very few pheasant where I grew up. But here, it's like they're rats in the sky. It's amazing. I mean, I've seen so many pheasants hit by bumpers by the road, just laying there. It's just amazing. Have you ever like defeathered a pheasant? They're the most beautiful creatures I've ever seen. Like really defeathered a tom and looked at the feathers. I bet you could sell those feathers for people that do flies. Can you? Really? Yeah. You got 60 birds a day for the lodge. Is that during this time of year?
Oh yeah, we're gonna
Probably do it tonight.
Who do you got them for? Who's killing them all? Oh, so they come, okay, got it. So they come here, blast it full of lead, and you get to skin it and feed it to them. Do you cook it? Who cooks it? Oh, they freeze it. Okay, got it. I never, before I moved here, I did not know this was the pheasant capital of the world. I'm not kidding. So I moved here and I'm looking at all these people in orange come this time every year. What the heck's going on? And everyone's shooting at the sky. I had to find out later, pheasant capital of the world. Yeah. And people will travel halfway across the world to get here to shoot a little bird. That's what blows my mind. I think pheasants are pretty and all, but I wouldn't spend thousands of dollars to go travel halfway across the world, do everything else that requires, just so I can kill a little bird that's looks like a chicken that big almost. I don't know, that's just me. But maybe I'll figure out what it feels like to kill a pheasant one day. Okay, enough about pheasants. Okay, here's gonna be a fun hypothetical. I call it imagine this. We're gonna nationalize your bread. Ooh, what's that mean? Nationalize your bread. Does anyone know what might mean, nationalize? You might have heard this in my last class a year ago or so.
No, it's my memory. That means your bread is now funded by the government, and the government will dictate what bread you can and cannot eat and who makes it.
Okay, so what happens, and this happened in the past before October Revolution in Russia. Now, the king is off the throne. We're guarding him. He is not in charge. The authorities are going to come in and say, pretend this is your bakery. This is your bakery. It is full of bread. Your job is to just make it and sell it. And hey, you get to keep some of the profits. Great, right? So what if someone comes in your bakery and says, all right, guys, come in. Let's get it out of here. And they bring in 50 guys to unload all of your shelves and take it away. What just happened to you? You just got robbed. What that is called nationalizing resources. So when a new government comes to power, sometimes, every once in a while, some of these governments literally take what they want at first. It's called nationalizing. We're going to nationalize your bakery. It is not yours anymore. All the products in it are ours, and now we're going to tell you what to make. Is that going to make you happy? Do you think you're going to want to make one more freaking loaf of bread if that happens to you? And that's what happens. So what happens, people are hungry in October. The czar is now off the throne. And people are hungry. So the guys at the Congress are like, you know what? People need to be fed. How do we feed them real quick? Let's just go get the food from the bakers and give it to everybody else. So all the food is distributed to hungry people. Most of the very poor people are happy, but not the bakers. So for now, you got bread. For now, you might have some raisins. Raisin bread's good. What kind of bread do you like? I like raisin bread. Anyone got a favorite kind of bread? I heard monkey bread. Wow, I heard right. Okay, what's monkey bread? Please tell me.
It's not really bread. It's kind of more like a snack, and it's got a lot of little pieces of bread thrown in there.
Like fruitcake?
You just put bits of dough in, and then it rises, and you can just take little pieces out and snack on.
That's weird. I've never heard of that.
And then we drizzle caramel on top of it.
Favorite bread? Say it again.
Joy's bread.
Joy's bread. You make your special bread or something?
Yes.
Okay, Joy's bread. Got it. Okay, who else got a favorite bread?
Cinnamon roll.
Oh yeah, here we go. Cinnamon roll.
No, just it's sourdough
Sour cinnamon. Got it. Banana. Okay. Yeah. Zucchini bread. Okay. So these are just some of the breads we Americans like. There's hundreds of other different types. Your bakery is now emptied and is now given to everybody else. You're the baker saying, wow, that was awful and I hate everything now. I'm not going to produce anything for you. So for now, everyone's getting fed. But it's going to get ugly later. That's what happens when you nationalize. Say if you went into a butcher and you have 50 pheasants up on the wall that have been plucked and everything ready to go. Imagine if your government came in and said, we're going to take these and we expect you to produce more later. Oh, and here's an IOU. Here's a little piece of paper that says IOU. There you go. Would that make you happy? Would that, yeah. I like monopoly money. That's what it is, basically. But would that make you want to shoot any more pheasants and clean them and dress them? Because if the government's going to take it the next day, what's the point, right? Huh. Makes you think. Now, here's a question. Has anyone here really, really, really ever been super duper hungry? Like hungry so much you want to hit somebody? Wow, I did not expect that. You guys got to shoot more pheasants. Wow, okay. All right. So I learned when I was younger, because I got very, very hungry once, I learned that I should never waste anything. So is there anyone here in my household that know what my household is like when it comes to food? I saw a hand. Yeah, you.
So if
That's
the
my daughter.
Food, yeah, I'm his daughter. We're the best one. But if the food isn't moldy, we eat it. And if it is, we feed it to our chickens. But if we waste anything, we usually get yelled at, which is why if we wasted food and put it in the trash, we have to cover it with a piece of towel.
I know you do that.
Because we were that scared, we'd like slap.
Well, this is how whenever you get hungry, super duper hungry, it changes how you think. So when I was 20 years old in a war zone once, I got really, really, really hungry. So hungry I lost more weight than I ever lost in my life. And from that time, it changed how I thought. I'm thinking to myself, you know what, if I ever get a fridge of my own, I'm going to make sure nothing goes to waste. And to this day, that's how I operate. If it's moldy, the chickens get it. If it's even just a little moldy, maybe the dog gets it. But something always gets that food. Did you know in America, fun fact, in America, from the time the food gets from the refrigerator to your plate, it's not very far. From the refrigerator to your plate, 35% of food in America is literally wasted. So think of your plate. You eat 65% of it. The rest of it, typically in America, goes in the trash. 35%. You want to talk about having a hunger crisis? Why don't we solve the refrigerator to your plate crisis right now? But yes, it made me a little paranoid. I sometimes dig in the trash and find food in there. But it changes how you think. That's the point. When people get really hungry, it changes how you think. True story. That's how it's like in my house. If you give me a lasagna, it might still be there 4 weeks later. Okay, here we go. Hunger is a powerful motivator, and that's the point for these types of changes. It changes your brain, how you think. I can confidently say that because after weeks and weeks of getting almost no food, it literally changed how I thought. And maybe that's why I'm here to teach today, because it does. Personal change. If I'm hungry and I don't have any money, but there's a guy hiring over there, maybe I should go get hired, get some money to get fed. Personal change, that's what that means. Or hey, let's go search through the couches from loose change. Personal change, fine. But being hungry causes you to do things so you don't have to be hungry. But it's also a powerful motivator for societal change and political change too. Especially if the right person comes along and goes, hey, when you vote for me, we're going to deal with this hunger situation. And if you are really hungry, sounds pretty good. Sometimes the chickens don't even eat what I throw at them. I mean, they eat almost everything, too. No, what happened was the Marine Corps, when you're on campaign, they give you a MRE, meal ready to eat. Has anyone ever heard of those? Oh my gosh, you guys are weird. Wow. Did we bring some in here once?
No, but we got some.
Huh. Anyway, so y'all must have had MREs before.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Dad currently has some in our basement.
Your dad doesn't have any MREs in his basement. I know he does. I could just feel it in my bones. That guy's cool. Anyway, what happened was the MREs they gave us were old. This is how I got hungry. They gave us plenty of MREs. The problem was the stuff was old, and after you eat it after about 2 or 3 days, it affects your body like as if you're, what's a good example? Okay, anyone like McDonald's in here? What if you had McDonald's for 3 days straight? The same burger for 3 days straight. Every meal, 3 days straight, the same burger. What would that do to you? You'd be more than bored.
I'd be throwing up.
Yes. Yeah.
Every day.
Throwing up, bad things. Your body starts shutting down. Well, that's what happened with our MREs. So what happened is that old food made our bodies not want anything to do with it. So that's how we got starving. Sad. So that's how it worked. Anyway, if you're hungry, things can be changed, whether of your own course or someone else's. Guess what? This is a fun fact, and I've been reading history most of my life. 90% of all revolutions have hunger as a catalyst. Hunger. Think about that for a minute. That's how much hunger changes how you think. Now for homework, I don't want any of you to eat for 1 whole week and come back in here and I'm going to see how you think. No, no. You can do it if you want. It'd be cool, but no. I don't think I could survive that. Yeah, I'm skinny enough as it is. Next time you read history and you read about a revolution, hunger's not far away, people. I see hands. And
You know, if you chew on an almond all day, you won't feel hungry that entire day.
if you chew on an almond all day,
Just one single.
you will not be hungry the rest of the day.
Just survive the entire day without feeling.
What if you swallowed the almond?
Well, then you have to go get an oven.
I don't think I could help myself. I think I'd have to swallow. Wait a minute. Wouldn't it crunch up and become like real gross? And I'd have to swallow it. What if you suck on it? Is that what you're saying? Okay, got it. Now I got it. Huh.
What if your mom, sometimes you get her so mad that she decides, I'm not making any food, so if you were hungry, go eat grass. And then she doesn't feed you for 2 days.
That's the first time I ever heard something like that.
Go
All
eat
right.
dandelions. Pretty
Or
good.
we have to make it.
So say that louder. Listen up.
You get your mom so mad that she just stops making food, and you either have to make it, or and she tells us to go eat grass again.
And you literally were doing that? You know. Wow, you guys are weird. Fun fact again, a dandelion, every single part of a dandelion is fully edible. I'm not kidding. Nope. It don't taste great.
Yeah, it's pretty bitter.
Yes.
Some of the middles of the flowers are kind of sweet because they have like nectar in them.
Yeah. Yes.
Everything's edible. It's just a matter of how much time.
What's that?
Everything's edible. It's just a matter of how much time.
Ah, that's disturbing. What? Yeah, they're extremely good for you. Yes. You know, when I was younger, I would see fields of dandelions. The farmers where I come from, they would let a crop go 1 year and let the field go, and a whole field of dandelions I'd see, and I'd see that's a field of food. Now, if you ever have to eat a dandelion, you might be there one day. When you see dandelions, you know you can eat it. This is going to be useful one day for some of us. The best thing to do is actually boil the heads of the dandelion. They actually, taste a little better after that. Put some stones in there, boil them up a little better. Yes?
Dandelions are actually brought to America as a food source, and I am eating
From where? Interesting. I didn't know that. Brought to America. They're not indigenous to America. Wow. There is dandelion wine out there. There is dandelion tea. There is dandelion root, this, that, and the other. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So Moscow, the point was, Moscow was starving, except for a few at the top. Wouldn't that make you a little angry? That'd make me a little angry. And when just a few people are doing well in society, a few people are actually still got, some bread on their shelves, it's easy to envy people like that. I mean, we're all guilty of envying somebody, something at some point. But it's much easier to do when you're very hungry. The bakers aren't going to make any more food. Why? Why get it taken again? I don't want your stupid IOU. It's probably what they got, too. Anyone play Monopoly? I used to carry Monopoly money in my pocket like a crazy person. I'm like, I'll give you a $100 tip if you give me an extra soda. And I put Monopoly money on there. But I gave her a tip. It wasn't just Monopoly money. Okay. Yeah, Monopoly's great. Do you know Monopoly was invented by a communist? To show the evils of capitalism. Not sure of her name, but that's the truth. She invented Monopoly to show how bad capitalism was. Oddly enough, the game represented exactly the opposite of what she was going for. Then someone stole her patent and claimed it for their own. True story. That's Monopoly. So now that everyone's good and hungry and a little bit angry, here comes a guy that has been there, he says. I've been at your level. I want you to have food. I want things to work. I'm sick of how things are working. I want to make all this whole situation better. Listen to me. I'm going to stand on a pedestal that's higher than everybody else and shout to the streets, here's my idea. And it's called Marxism. If we all do it right, it's going to work. I'm talking about Lenin, people. And here's a definition. I don't think it's on your definition sheet, so be prepared to write this one down. Maybe on the back of that sheet would be good, but it's up to you. It's your notes. You could live off of stone soup for a while. Get a pot, get several different types of stones, throw them in there, boil it. Actually keep you alive for a while. Some dandelions in there too. Yes, it's called stone soup. People had to do that when they got especially hungry because there is minerals in the stone that come out of the stone into the water when you boil it, yes.
Did you know you can live off miso soup because of how many nutrients it has?
What kind?
Miso.
Miso, yes, you can live off of miso soup. Yes, that is correct. You could also live off of pizza and pizza alone. Can you imagine that? I don't know if I could do that. I'd rather have dandelions at least every once in a while. Here's a definition of Marxism. This is not on your sheet. I don't believe it is, but I think you should put it on the back of that handout that I gave you. This will help you. Lenin's like, I believe in Karl Marx, and this is what Karl Marx believes. If we all do it correctly, if we all get on board with this idea, none of us will be hungry anymore. Ooh, that sounds good. We won't have to take your bread anymore from your bakeries. You can make it, sure. But there's a string attached. He doesn't really tell them about that. Social, political, and economic theory that explains class struggle and material conditions. Very bland. Now, if you do not wear your name tag today, that is the equivalent of standing on hot lava. You will die. So keep your name tags on. Anyone play that game ever? Hot lava? The floor is hot lava. I think every kid.
Just lava.
Lava.
Is it cold lava?
Yeah, there wouldn't be, would there? I think every kid has played that game. Floor is lava. Oop. Has everyone got that? Okay. Now, this is what Lenin wants. This is what he's saying. I believe in Karl Marx. He wrote the Communist Manifesto, and this is what a proper Marxist wants. And Lenin's like, we want to get rid of capitalism. Goodbye, monopoly. Then some gal goes and invents monopoly. When I say abolish capitalism, I put you may not right there. Now that I look at that, that's confusing, but I'll explain it to you. You may not sell your product of your hands and make what you want out of it. You may not skin someone's pheasant and give it to them for any price you want. Your labor is your labor, and we're going to tell you what to charge. If you want to order a pizza, if you want to make a pizza, you do not get to charge what you want for that pizza. You can only charge this amount of money for the pizza and no more. You're getting somewhere. Yes. I'm a contractor. I sometimes work on basements, attics, and stuff like that. I cannot charge what I want. I have a cap. I may not make very much money. I have a cap on what I can make because it's in the interest of everybody else around me that I don't make so much off of them. Yeah, they still want you to work, but they don't want you to get too rich. I say you may not because you may not get too rich. You cannot get too rich. You're going to be in a socialist society. You may not have above a certain amount of money in your bank account. Guess what? If you live in China right now, you are not allowed to have more than $3 million in your personal bank account.
What if you have multiple bank accounts?
They will find you.
Darn it.
Seriously. I saw a hand.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you do for a contractor?
Oh my gosh. I can fix just about anything. Housework, plumbing, electrical. I also invent things. I can do just you name it. But electric's fun. I like getting shocked sometimes. But we're going to get rid of capitalism. We don't want people to get stupid, filthy rich on your hard labor. So we're going to build a classless society. There is nobody at the top. There is nobody at the bottom. We are equally in this thing together. I don't know what I would think of that, even if I was starving. No dukes, no earls. Okay, I guess I can get that. But what about managers? What about landlords? There's a lot of questions that would bring up in my brain, even if I was starving. We're going to build a society that's communist. Socialism, communism. Look it up in your paper that I sent it out. It will help you. Your neighbor's needs are now your responsibility, whether you like it or not.
Is this kind of what happened during the French Revolution too?
Yes, it is. It is. She asked, did this happen in the French Revolution, 1789? I think it was. What happened, there was a couple people way at top doing very well, and everyone at the bottom was getting sick of being marginalized and treated like garbage. So the French Revolution was all about, for the longest time, just finding those rich people and literally cutting their heads off and redistributing their wealth. That is 80% of the French Revolution right there. Sad time in history. At least 50,000 people beheaded in the French Revolution that we know of. But when a couple people are at top or doing very, very good, it's easy to point at them and go, it must be your fault. And that's what Lenin did. But above all, I want your loyalty. I want your vote. Because once I get your vote, we can make things happen. But in the end, when he gets your vote, your loyalty, he also gets your bread. Because you know what? You may still be a baker, but you cannot make what you want to make. You have price caps now. You cannot sell say if you got 10,000 hungry people in front of you and you got one piece of bread, you cannot sell that piece of bread for more than the government tells you. 10,000 people in front of you are hungry. You got 10,000 loaves of bread. I wonder, maybe if I charge them 2 cents instead of 1, I could keep a little money for me. No, the government says you can't do that. You will get 1 cent per piece of loaf of bread. 1 cent for each loaf of bread. That's a basic idea of it. Yes?
Why do they make them have like a price range?
Because it's socialism. It's about being forced to tend to the needs of your neighbor. And if your neighbor's poor, the government's going to tell you you're not allowed to make money off of his back. So you are forced into this thing. Once you voted in, now you're in.
How do they know that earn more than you're allowed to?
That is called the KGB. But yes, now a capitalist would be like, I have 1 loaf of bread and I've got 35 people in this room. And this bread smells oh so good. It's like a cinnamon bun. You ever go into the mall and you smell that Cinnabon place? Oh my gosh. So I have a nice brand new Cinnabon here. None of you have eaten in 3 days, and I'm a capitalist. I'm going to sell that Cinnabon to the highest bidder. I'll give you $5. I'll give you $10. 15, 20, sold. $20 for a Cinnabon. In a socialist system, they give you a cap for that Cinnabon. Everyone's hungry, but you only can sell that Cinnabon for $5 at most. Is that going to make you want to make more Cinnabons? This sounds ridiculous, but I'm trying to get it in your heads. You're not going to want to try as hard if you're not going to be able to keep the profits for yourself. Get it? Kind of hard to explain, but once you're there, you're there. You get it in your head. Okay, I said Lenin is still breathing today. He is, but he's dead. This is a true. You ready for this? This is true, 100% true. Lenin, when he was in the October Revolution in 1917, I think he was around 30 or 40. Yes, here we go. The people so deified him and looked up to him. Deified means almost like make a god of somebody. But the people really loved this guy for a while. He was the ultimate example of what pure Marxism should be. So when the guy died, they're like, okay, what are we going to do? He's dead. Are we going to burn him? We're going to, just put him in a coffin and call it good day? No. No, the Russian government went a few steps further. They not only put him in a chamber that sucked all the oxygen out so he could not rot, but they also, what you're not seeing, it's all glass. You can look at Lenin today in a nice suit. He's got his mustache. He looks like he just went to sleep. Underneath his coffin are 2 tubes that go into his lungs and a couple other tubes that go into other different parts of his body to not only circulate the fake blood in his system, but also inflates his lungs just like he's sleeping. So it literally looks like he's asleep. That he is in it's like a mausoleum almost. You can watch Lenin breathe to this day even though he's 100% dead. Interesting. Yeah, it is. Look it up. It's pretty weird. I don't know what it is. I think it's a gas.
I guess.
I think it is because otherwise if you put oxygen in there, he'd start to rot. So, yeah, true story. So now I gave you guys a question. If you're going to be a mayor of a town, what would you do? This is why I was getting at that. I'm going to read these tonight. Everyone in your town is hungry. Hangry. It's one of my favorite new words. You are hangry because the local bakery has been ransacked. So you're mayor of that town. What do? Here's one. We just went over this. Why it can be a bad idea. It is a bad idea. You can promise better days and make the people make bread for a cheap price. I just explained that to you. Everybody gets a Cinnabon for $1. Yes, right? Or $5. No higher. Yes, we all get to eat, at least for now. Until the bakers get angry and say, I'm not going to make it but the bare minimum so I can keep the KGB out my butt. So 1, you are the mayor. You can promise better days and make the people make bread for a cheap price. The trick is make. Yeah, you got to make them do it. Or give the people rights to safely produce bread and sell it the way they wish. The former is a little easier. The latter is a little harder. But what do you get in the end? I won't say exactly capitalism, though that's probably what you're going to get. But you're also going to get basic human rights. Written rights. We have a written constitution in this country. I can't just go over to any one of you and punch you in the nose. No, I cannot. I will get arrested and go to jail. And then I get sued. And then you might die. I don't want to do that. But you guys have basic rights. I cannot go over and do that to any one of you. You are protected by a constitution that is written into law. So you're the mayor of that town. You got 2 choices. Those are the main choices. One's a little easier at first, one's a little harder at first. But in the end, the latter is the better because it gives your people the right to make what they want, not be forced into it. Now, it might not surprise you that everyone was so hungry. They choose the easier route and vote for Mr. Lenin. They eventually vote for Mr. Lenin, putting all of their ducks and all of their eggs in that basket. Really gambling on this idea. All these people are hoping for an equal, just society where no one has to be hungry. Sounds noble. Sounds good. If everything works absolutely perfectly. But they're making a bet on this guy. And at first it works. When you go into someone's bakery, someone's butcher shop, and nationalize everything in there, at first it's going to work. Everyone's going to get food at first. Yay, right? Until you realize what happens afterwards. So yeah, at first this works. But it doesn't work for very long. The Soviet Union fell in 1991, largely because of this. Yeah, so it worked for a little while until everyone was equally poor and miserable at the end. The point is, without justice, we're no society at all. But then again, if we can hope for a pure, just society, we only can hope for that if God comes back. That's one of the things he preached. We want justice for you. We want you to have bread. That's justice. Well, true justice won't exist till God comes back. But he didn't say nothing like that. Almost done. I got one more slide. Does anyone want a Cinnabon? My wife used to work at Cinnabon. Yes, she worked in the mall with a cute little Cinnabon cap. Like I said, true justice will not exist until God is on earth. Establishes his kingdom on earth. Man's justice will never be perfect. This takes this funny little turn into justice. But like Lenin knew very well, the concept of justice is very appealing to the hungry. Let me hit that up. I want justice for you and your kids. I want justice for you and your family. I want them to make a little bit more of a wage and have an easier life. Sounds appealing at first. Oh yeah, sometimes I go too fast. Yeah. Got a few more minutes. Everyone's going to go look up Lenin now, aren't they? Yes.
So last week you gave a homework assignment to look up the Russian death count for
World War One?
World War II.
Two. Okay, yes. Yep.
I went and looked it up.
What is it?
Went down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
It's a lot.
So, according to a Russian military study that was translated into English by our military and then declassified by the request of the Black Vault Corporation in March 2018, the death count was 27 million.
Ooh.
That's a low estimate. It not only counts deaths from 1941 to 1945, their main war. It does not count the significant invasion of Poland and the Finnish War.
Oh my.
Defense.
Oh.
Accurate number would probably be the estimate given by the National World War II Museum in Norway. Their number is 32 million, which is 57 times America's death count.
Crazy. Huh. How sad. Everyone ready to scream their brains out like they did? Sometimes it just feels good to scream your brains out. Any questions for me? I know I covered a lot, but I also have no homework either. So yes. Not. I'll read some of them next time, but I don't know what's on those things, so I might have to weed some of them out in case there's some weird, kind of crazy people doing crazy stuff. Any questions for me? That's all I've got for you. Oh, one more.
Do you think that chipmunks should be illegal?
Excuse me? Chick-fil-A be illegal?
Chipmunks.
Well, I can't illegalize them, so I guess they're legal. Have a nice day, folks. You're welcome.
Legal now.